Wait, sometimes I feel like MMA is such a fast-moving sport that it doesn't pay tribute properly to...
Who is Mark Kerr? Meet the MMA fighter who inspired The Rock's character in The Smashing Machine. Mark Kerr's career is one of the most compelling, cautionary tales in combat sports history. He was the prototype of the modern heavy hitter, blending elite collegiate wrestling with devastating power to become a global superstar behind the undefeated streak and the terrifying moniker, The Smashing Machine, was a story far more human than his in-cage persona suggested. Immortalized in the iconic 2002 documentary that bears his nickname, Kerr's journey from unparalleled dominance to a searing battle with addiction is a raw, unforgettable look at the price of being a pioneer. Here's everything you need to know about Kerr and his storied career, and what made him one of the UFC greats. Is The Smashing Machine, based on a true story? The 2025 film The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is entirely based on the true story of Mark Kerr. It is a biographical sports drama that draws its narrative directly from the acclaimed 2002 HBO documentary of the same name, which chronicled Kerr's career. The film focuses on Kerr's peak fighting years in the late 1990s, when he participated in the Pride Fighting Championships in Japan. The story centers on the immense physical and personal toll the brutal sport took on him, including his highly public struggle with painkiller addiction and volatile relationship with his partner. The film aims to look at the human cost behind the violence that helped build the billion-dollar industry now known as the UFC. Who is Mark Kerr? Kerr, who was born in 1968, is a former amateur wrestler and MMA fighter best known by his ring name, The Smashing Machine. His career path to MMA dominance began in wrestling, where he achieved the pinnacle of the amateur ranks by becoming an NCAA Division I champion at Syracuse University. He also wrestled internationally, including facing future WWE star Kurt Angle, before transitioning to the nascent world of no-holds-barred fighting in 1997. Kerr quickly became one of the sport's first major stars. His initial dominance led to him winning 2 consecutive UFC heavyweight tournament championships at UFC 14 and UFC 15 in 1997, where he defeated multiple opponents in a single night. Kerr moved to Japan to compete in the prestigious Pride Fighting Championships, where he was considered one of the world's most formidable heavyweights. Despite his fearsome success in the ring, Kerr's career was ultimately derailed by personal struggles. He developed a serious addiction to painkillers, opiates that were often prescribed to manage the extreme physical toll of the fights and quick turnarounds. This addiction, along with volatile domestic issues with his girlfriend, Dawn Staples, led to a public overdose and a subsequent stint in rehab in 1999. Although he was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2025, his legacy is a complex story of a physical marvel battling internal demons in the brutal early days of MMA. Mark Kerr MMA record. Kerr's official professional MMA record is the 1st of November 15 across 27 fights. His wins include 4 by knockout, 7 by submission, and 2 by decision. He won 2 UFC heavyweight tournaments, both coming in 1997. Kerr's UFC dominance was short-lived but spectacular. He won the UFC 14 heavyweight tournament in July 1997, defeating 2 opponents in one night, and followed that by winning the UFC 15 heavyweight tournament just 3 months later. His second tournament victory included a devastating 17-second knockout followed by a submission win. His brutal, ground-and-pound style, combined with his elite grappling, made him one of the most feared and highest-paid fighters of his era, leading him to move on to the prestigious Pride Fighting Championships in Japan. Mark Kerr height. Weight. Kerr is listed as 6'1" and 263 pounds. His weight throughout his prime MMA career fluctuated as he cut weight for various tournaments, but he often competed in the heavyweight division. He weighed around 255 to 266 pounds during his most dominant years, including his time in the UFC and Pride Fighting Championships. Johnson, who portrays Kerr in The Smashing Machine, reportedly gained over 30 pounds to accurately match Kerr's imposing physical stature and muscle mass.